Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mainland Matters, your South Island thoroughbred racing news, previews and reviews of course, and there's been a lot happening and there is a lot about to happen here in the south over the next week or so as we head to Riccarton Park for their final meeting before we build in to the New Zealand Cup Carnival. First things first though, let's take you back to Ashburton on Saturday. Now, the Ashburton Racing Club presented a beautiful track. It was a good 4 to start the day, improved 3 parts through the card to a good 3, and it was a really good day of racing, which was topped off by the Bruce Tapper and Varma Ramhit stable getting themselves the Cornella and the Group 3 Barneswood Farm Stakes. We'll take you back to the beginning of this particular race where we had Specialty and Redmond, who were both racing around in the predominantly yellow colours, and they were able to put themselves up close to the speed, and that was certainly the key in this particular race as we take in the start. You see One Kiss, who rolls forward in the initial stages, didn't quite finish the race off as well as what she did in the Canterbury Bell last start. Settling down on the outside third is Redmond. And then Brandon May decides, I'm going to go forward and sit up outside of the leader. And that right there was the winning of the race after 200 metres, being able to position himself a lot closer to the speed than his stablemate Redmond. And then we fast forward you to the final 400 metres of this particular race. And again, a really poignant part of the race. Brandon May has pushed the button and left Redmond flat-footed. So Specialty had about 2 lengths advantage on Redmond. And although that the concluding stages sectionally were both very similar from both horses, it just meant that he had that advantage at the top of the straight, which was a winning advantage. Chibano, you'll see running on strongly wide out in the Pitman Silks, ran some really good closing sectionals. He'll back up this week at Riccarton Park. Of the others, Perfectly Suited, you would have noted there at the start, was just on the flat foot totally for about the first 400 or 500 metres. Just didn't quite run up to expectation. Now, the stewards questioned Samantha Wynne post that race, and she said that the filly had felt indifferent in her action over the concluding stages. Something clearly not right there with her. And One Kiss potentially back to the drawing board in terms of her racing style. Finished on really strongly, coming from off the speed over 1200 metres. Just couldn't quite find the line as well, ridden up onto the pace over 1400 metres. But Redmond and also Specialty, who were first and second in that particular race, Bruce Tapper and Varma Ramhit, their first group victory. They've been together for about 14 months, so congratulations to them. We'll take you over to Live Drama, victorious in the Stewards Handicap Trial. This was the Agriforum Growing Innovation Stewards Handicap Trial. Once again, we'll take in the start of this particular race. Live Drama ends up winning the race, jumps away about midfield, eased back, but the horse out the back in the Michael and Matthew Pitman Silks is My World, who eventually runs into second position in this race. So they sort their order out. There was 4 to 5 lengths between Live Drama and My World and a good bit of pressure up front. It was always a race on paper that there looked to be a fair bit of speed, and you'll note that Buoyant has been posted out 3 wide from the outset. And as we roll that on to the final 400 metres, you'll see turning for home, Buoyant in the Sabin Kirkland colours, has never seen cover. He's never been closer than 3 wide. He's done all of the work in the race, and then you'll see the 2 swoopers start to appear. And the Lance Robinson colours, Live Drama getting over the top, and My World going with it. So although first and second were very, very good, I just couldn't help but be so impressed by the run of Buoyant, and he was so willing to the line, considering that he's run his last 200 in 11.02. The winner's run 10.91 and the second horse has run 10.89. A phenomenal performance from a horse that is certainly on the up. Buoyant, one to follow from the Sabin Kirkland stable. But Live Drama, obviously one of the better mares here in Canterbury. We look forward to seeing where she heads over Cup Week, as well as My World. That was its first up run for quite some time, having had no trials under its belts. The next of our features out of Ashburton was the McRae Painters and Decorators Ashburton Cup, and what a find this horse has been, the Buffer. Just keeps winning them in the row. Now this was another really good ride as we take in the start of the race. Jumps from a wide barrier draw, and the intent from Kelsey Hannon was there from the outset. Worked him across, got him into a really good rhythm after about 100 metres, and was able to posse up outside of the leader. Relaxed beautifully. Now, there was another point of the race at about the 1,000 metres that there was some pressure which came from Let's Bring It On, worked around the field, and Kelsey Hannon never panicked, just kept her horse on a rhythm, kept it breathing well, let that pressure go, and then as we fast forward you on to the turn for home, gets this horse into the clear at the right time. You see Let's Bring It On to the inside, who wasn't quite as powerful as he was the start before, coming from off the speed. Feeling the Power was really brave, a little bit of a rise in weight for him, and Yamuna wide out getting home strongly. And you'll see for Rodden, who is in the deep, his sectionals in this race, he's run the best 800, 600 and 400 and almost broke 12 seconds for his last 200 metres. So with a view to the Copeland's Bakeries Mile, where he may get in around that 57 kilo mark, for Rodden is certainly a horse that's going really well, but so is the Buffer and Kelsey Hannon, who is riding out of her skin at the moment. So there's a look at the Ashburton meeting from Saturday. Was at the trials on Tuesday at Riccarton Park on the synthetic track, and I've seen this horse a couple of times and I thought that I'd share it with you. Her name is Imelda Mayhem. We'll take you straight back to the start of this 1,000-metre trial. She's run 57 seconds, this horse. Pings from the outside stall on the Richard Diddham colours, works across and leads. In comparison, this trial victory was 5 lengths faster than both of the maiden trials on the day, nearly 4 lengths faster than one of the open handicaps, and 8 lengths faster than the 1,000 metre open handicap won by Camino Rocoso. She's run 57 seconds for the 1,000 metres and was victorious by 10 lengths and quite comfortably as well. And I believe, speaking to the Richard Diddham stable, that she may well be heading to Ashburton on the 30th. But for us who are racing fans, we can only hope that somebody doesn't come with the chequebook or a rather large wallet prior to that, so we get to see Imelda Mayhem at the races. But she certainly looks a horse that is worth following. Riccarton Park on Saturday, we look forward to the Warder Cree Stakes, the set weight and penalties race for the 1,600 metres. Cognito is a horse that was victorious in the Guineas trial on the 1st of October, and the best 800, 600, 400 and 200. Takes on This Is Dramatic, who has got the blinkers going on and steps up to a mile. She was second in this particular race in behind Cognita, and Marlborough Bay, who's got the noseband and the tongue tie going on, stepping up to 1,600 metres as well. So he might be a bit of an improver. It's the time of year where everyone's just trying to get to that 1,600 metre point with some horses who are feeling well with the spring grass and wanting to get on with things. We've got the Copeland's Bakeries Mile prelude on Saturday as well. No real standouts. I thought the run of Seriously 2 starts ago was good, with a view towards the 1,600 metres of the Copelands. He's going to get up to 1,400 metres and comes out of the race won by Feeling the Power last time out. There was just no speed through that middle part, which didn't really suit him, so he could be a bit of a watch. Spring Classic on Saturday as well, and we look forward to that with Are You Serial, who was victorious last time out, taking on the likes of Campion Nessa. Bell of the Bull looking to make it 4 wins in a row. And then, of course, the 2-year-old race, where we see the 2 Tiakau runners, Rhetorical and Rubicon Crossing. Both of these horses victorious at their most recent starts, and they were very good in doing so. Rhetorical over the 800 metres at Riccarton Park, beating home Gwynver and Trickster, and Rubicon Crossing comes out of a race at Wanganui, where they were on a really testing track there last time out. That was also over the 800 metres, so a little bit hard to gauge where those two are at, but certainly looking forward to that meeting there on Saturday from Riccarton Park. And it will be the final meeting at Riccarton Park before the 3 days of the New Zealand Cup Carnival. We look forward to Ashburton next week, and then of course Wingatui on Melbourne Cup Day. But that's all for this week on Mainland Matters. We look forward to catching you next time.